What's up? Welcome to another episode of Guilt of Gab.
Of the Gab.
I'm Jarvis.
That is.
And you saw me peeking over here looking at the sign. And I'm going to pick this one up because this needs to be heard. Always protect black.
That's our woman, please do.
Now, before we get in this conversation, let me be the first one to admit.
He actually had that standing up.
Hey, practice make perfect.
Hey, that guy.
Anywho, let me be clear. So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. I don't want to act like I forgot, transgressions past. I don't want to act like I don't know who I was for the large part of my life.
Truth. Hey,
I've accepted who I was, and I operated as if that's
we weren't always married. We were not always married.
I was not always intent on being a decent human being.
Yeah.
So now, with that in mind,
I guess being ain't shit does. Yeah.
There's better ways to say ain't shit. That is, focus on that. But what I'm saying is, I always protect black women, and this is coming from a place of love. And today's episode is we affectionately named "How Does Venus Look from Mars?" So this is not how we're not going to sit here and critique women for 20.
We have no. We feel like we have no right to.
We are not credentialed. We don't have that authority. We don't have that. That's not something that we feel like we again are in a place to do. We can't judge anyone for anything. But we do want to get some insight on how some men. I'm not saying I speak for all of us, but some men. That is, he wants to give his opinion, but he may speak a little bit differently about how we view women, and we just want to drive home a couple points. So yeah. I'm gonna let you jump in because I have an opinion about an opinion on this particular subject. Okay. I'm gonna let you get your rocks off first.
Well, because of the song we're about to talk about, it's real funny that you said that. But I mean, honestly, just literally, you said it all. I'm always really big on making sure that we are protecting black women because I feel like they are our women, and I'm not saying that possessively. We came from black women, so we need to protect our women. So that just means I truly do feel that there's a lot of thought stuff that went on during the time where I feel like it was understandable, and at the same time it was a shame that our women had to feel like they weren't protected. And I think that was very much something that really touched my heart. I feel like, they should never feel like they're not protected by us, at least, because we've been through a lot with them. But reason why this episode happened, and I think this conversation does need to be had. As you know, the song "Wet Ass Pussy W.a.p." I love that song, by the way. I have no shame. I will turn it up all the way in my car. I'd be like, I ain't got no shame. Shit ride. But no, it's in the song, and I noticed that like all these dudes, I won't say another word, but these dudes, people I saw online, wanted to make the song a think piece, like it was almost like it legit to me felt like a double standard, bro. Like we listen to Future talking about doing women wrong all the time. My bad, sorry. You still out here Future doing women wrong all the time. We hear about that. Drake, heck, people make fun of him saying he hit his son because the woman wasn't what he wanted. It just to me is like all these things that we hear in songs and music, but we have the audacity to try to. I'm not saying we, me, you didn't do it, but like people have the audacity to talk about that song.
I'm gonna give you the mic back. Let me say this: it's weird. I'm not gonna hold myself to a different standard than any other because I know that I perpetuate some of that shit. I know I'm a part of that. Yeah. It's we. I'm just as wrong as everybody else, even though I have a different opinion. But you got it.
Yeah. Truth. But it just to me it was just weird. I'm like, to me the song vulgar, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say I didn't like it. I mean, to me, I think that's very attractive for a woman to say what she wants. I think that's very attractive. I like it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not act like we ain't heard worse songs out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, you ain't twins. The window to the wall, sweat dropping down my balls. Like, that literally right there. You know what I'm saying? That right there.
Okay. They play it in stadiums across America.
You know what I'm saying?
During family time.
You know what I'm saying?
Cheering on their favorite
team. But Cardi talking about the tingling thing in the back of her throat. That's offensive now. That's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I thought that was like very much just wild to me. I'm like, bro, like, are you really upset about this song? Like, I mean, just be real. Like back in the day, like we was out here hoping chicks were saying they wanted that. You know what I'm saying? But now you acting like it's not good for you. It's a bad influence. Like we ain't out here treating women dirty ourselves. I'm not saying that all men do this. So I'm not trying to say that. I'm not saying all men are the same. But to me, it's just very much a double standard. You can't say that, the Future, Lil Baby, Drake, just other rap, Yin Yang Twins, that's what I just said. Like, they can't say stuff like that, and it's cool and it's okay. But if women do the same thing, you now want to judge them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the bullshit to me.
So I'm gonna touch that on
pause. If anybody is trying to say I'm pandering, you just ain't shit. I just want to say that. Go ahead. I'm just being honest and real. I hate when dudes like, you're pandering. Why? Because I just say my opinion.
Right,
it's not yours.
Like we're married, bro. I'm dedicated to my marriage, and there's no benefit of me pandering. I'm not.
There's no pandering to. I'm married. Like,
so allow me to say this. And why, right? So I want to look at this from a different angle, and I agree with everything you said. Mm-hmm. But I want to look at this from a different angle. WAP is about ownership. You feel me?
Ooh, okay.
WAP is about a woman saying, in my physical self, this is what I know. This is something that I value. Fuck what everybody else got to say about that. You know what I mean? So
it's like them almost taking the power back. This is my pussy, basically.
Like,
I hate saying like that, but that's what they're saying.
And I might let you enjoy the playground from time to time, but it's mine. You feel me? Like I
can't remember the exact verse, but it was funny when May was talking about I won't let you like bust in me. Like that was real.
That's real. So this is my thing. As a society, we have almost shunned the women in a sexual sense, but sex doesn't happen.
It's like we want our women to be freaks, but we shun them for showing it.
Right. Well, hold on. The point that I want to convey is.
Oh, my apologies. It's mine. We'll make sure it's clear. It's mine.
The point that I want to convey is, like for dominant society, and we know who that is. Like it's almost unheard of someone claiming some shit to be theirs and theirs solely. Like we can't deal with a woman saying this is me, this is mine. This is my gift from my higher being, whether you believe that it's God or whoever you believe. This is what I've been given, and this is my treasure. And if I want to pump my chest and tell niggas it's great, I'm gonna retract the N-word because I'm trying my best in my own personal life to not say that anymore. I know I just said it, but don't count it against me. So yeah, like it's like if I want to pump my chest and say this is great, like I know I got the best.
It's like the same thing with a dude walking around saying he got a big dick. Same thing, really, honestly.
Right. So I mean, and several men lie about that shit. You feel me? But that is something that we know holds value in traditional society. So it's okay for you to try to influence people to believe that you have a big penis. You feel me?
Yeah.
But why is it not okay for a woman to say that she has a wet vagina? My thing is because you want to believe that it is your vagina and your vagina only. You have an issue with it. You don't give a damn about a woman promoting themselves sexually, nigga. You should be attracted to that if you are heterosexual. What you don't like is the fact that it's not yours, and that's the issue.
The fact that you're not telling her pussy is wet. It's almost
or the fact that she don't need you to tell her that her pussy is wet.
That's real shit.
That's it.
That's really it, yeah.
And I said I wanted to touch on the back end of what you were saying. Stand back up, baby.
We'll make sure they see that, definitely. Sure.
Yeah. So, I wanted to touch the back end on the back end of what I wanted to say. You were talking about double standard. This is a double standard. You feel me? That is a double standard. Now, this shit is vulgar, and what I want my teenage kid, if I was a parent, I would want my 25-year-old listening to that. But I understand that there is a place for that. You feel me? And at the end of the day, I'm glad you like the song, but that might not be for you, bro. Listen to something else. That might not be the message that you need to receive.
What do you mean by that? I'm not trying to be funny. Like, explain that. I want you to unpack that. I think that's very valuable.
I think that while it's not Angela Davis standing on the Washington Monuments and preaching black women liberation. It's not that. Mm-hmm. But for some people, for some women who may be struggling with something that I can't mansplain because I don't know what it feels like to be a woman, that may be a message that they need to hear. Like, pride yourself in yourself, baby. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. No, right. I just wanted you to unpack that.
But
I think that's very true.
That ain't a message that I need to hear, though, because I can't relate to that.
Oh, no.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm just saying that I like the song, but I do very much, and I appreciate you unpacking that.
Yeah.
I do very much understand, and I admit, that shit ain't for me. Like, that's they, you know what I'm saying? That's their anthem. They, you know what I'm saying? That to me, that is a song that I can definitely envision. Like women turn up, you know, they drink and they have their girls' night and they singing that shit. Like right. It's almost like their anthem. So like, yeah, that changed for me. Yeah.
Right. So before we go to something else, because I want to address every avenue that I can think of right now when it comes to this subject. Like accountability doesn't start with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. That ain't where the accountability comes from. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Because as being a teacher in the 6th grade, you feel me? These 11 and 10, sometimes 12 situations are different. You're old kids, you feel me? They know about the sexual reproductive system in a way that I didn't learn until I became like 19. Like they know. Like, they know. So by the time they're able to hear that song and like put words to action and know what the hell that is really being talked about, bro, they know about that. Yeah. And as a parent, if you haven't put in proper safeguards, you haven't put the time and attention in your child to know the conversation that you need to have with your child to be able to take in the world, then yeah, my boy, you might be slacking.
I'm happy you said that too, because honestly, I feel like when it comes to that in terms of the child, I feel like that's a parent's responsibility, right? Like, for example, there's certain movies that I know. I know movies and music are different, but there's certain, to me, just the intaking of content. For me, it was like there's just some things that my parents didn't let me watch, right? And I know there was some music that my parents didn't let me listen to. And I might go off my cousin out here and there, but they was like, in this house, certain things just not gonna happen. Yeah. And then so for me, I feel like that's where I feel like it's not Cardi B's, it's not Megan Thee Stallion, it's not Mulatto, it's not Flo Milli's, it's not Rhapsodies, it's not Chicas, whatever female artist, even male artists, not Future, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, like it is not their responsibility to control what your children take in. Right. Like that is your responsibility as a parent, making sure that one, you're controlling, you're not controlling, that's a bad word. One, you're monitoring and making sure that if they are taking in something, they're educated and knowing what it is and what they do and don't understand. But also, too, I feel like as a parent, it's also your responsibility to know watch what your kids are doing. Like, to me, I get it. You can't watch your kids 24/7. I think it's unrealistic. But you should know some things, especially in your own household.
Yeah, so I think we have to fully understand that not just a child, but a person is going to do what other person feels like is within the moral scope. Yeah. So if you a killer, you just a killer. Circumstantial, of course. But you a killer. You know, you gonna kill anyway. Yeah. It wasn't, you know, you feel me?
But I can say I didn't make you kill him.
Keith didn't make you kill him. That was something that you had inside.
You gonna do that? You do that anyway.
No. But what I will say is I do think we are influenced by outside factors. I will say. So yeah, music can have it can have an influence on something that you already have in you. It can drive you towards that. So what I will say is, parents either have two options when it comes to what their child hears, and especially in reference to WAP. And you can explain to your child what it is and the responsibility they have just by having a sexual organ, period. Yep. You feel me? Or you can shelter your child and be on Paw Patrol 24/7 because you don't want your child to take that in.
I appreciate you.
Those are your options. I would rather put the responsibility on the parent than put the responsibility on women. Because we've muzzled women for way too long. You feel me? So we just got to do a better job of raising our kids. Now,
let me ask you something about that too. Sorry to cut you off. I want to stay there when you talk about raising your kids.
Right.
When you said we gotta raise our kids. Are you meaning in terms of controlling their mind? Not to say controlling, that's a bad word, but helping them understand that the double standard shouldn't exist, or are you meaning being a parent in terms of, hey, if this is something you consume, understanding what it is and what you should and shouldn't be doing. Like for example, I knew to the windows, to the walls that they were talking about. I knew what they were talking about, but I knew, hey, I don't need to have sex right now, right? So it was like, are you meaning like that, or are you meaning more that take away the idea of the double standard in general?
First of all, the last one.
Okay.
That's it. Like just being able to have the kids understand what it is going
on. Okay.
And
but do you think
when I heard that song, that sounded like a fun experience, and I actually wanted to try it. We're different.
but thing is though, like that's true, we're different. But also too though, there was I get it. But it's also like a piece of it, you know what I'm saying, where you still like you heard it, you knew it, but you can't say that song made you want to do it.
No.
Like you knew, oh, okay, they might be talking about sex. And then you internalize in the way, ooh, I want to have sex. But it was something that was already on your mind.
So let me say
they implant that in you.
So let me say this. You being able to understand at that age, for some might be considered a privilege. You're a smart kid.
Yeah.
You know? So you're able to understand, all right, this is fun, but it ain't what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that might not be the case for anybody else. So what I try to do in my personal life is, even though it might not be something that I want to do, I'll make allowances and say that might not just be my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't my cup of tea. That ain't what I want to listen to. That ain't what I want to do. I don't want to talk about my genitalia on wax. Ain't nobody fucking business what I got going on. You feel me? But I'm not going to mute that. And also we got to understand that because men, we also like to say, well, this woman don't like that. So that it must be true. Nah, brother, that's called intersectionality. And what may be good for the hen may not be good for the goose. You feel me? So it's women that are across the board who, I want to say this: people are not monolithic.
No.
And I have to, especially when it comes to relationship, I have to remind myself to say people are not monolithic. Mm-hmm. There are people in my life that does not look like me, and this is going to burn me up a little bit when I say this, but I love them because, and in my hearts of hearts, I believe they are not racist. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But I've kind of been conditioned to believe that the most are, and because I don't know who is, assume everybody is.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all trying to protect yourself.
Right. But and that's what I want to say about women. You feel me? Just because a woman wants to listen to this song, or she knows the lyrics word for word, and she gets hyped, and this may be her anthem, right? She may be intersectional in the point that it might not mean that she wants to go out and be promiscuous. She might not want to hoe. You know what I mean? She just wants to feel good about herself. Maybe she got a situation going on where she doesn't feel good about herself in that way, and that shit make her feel good about herself. And I may be talking about 8% of women in the world, but shit, they matter too.
So, like, to break down what you said it in a very intelligent way. I'm gonna say it in the basic way. No, you broke it down very well. I'm not trying to take nothing away from it. That was perfect.
I appreciate that.
But basically, you're saying just because a woman's listening to WAP, don't put her in the box and saying that she's just about to give you some pussy today.
Right, because
that's just being real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing says yes like yes, my brother. You feel me? Like if she ain't told you she want to give it to you, don't assume she's home.
Right.
And if your homeboy told you that he did this, other, and third, assuming he's lying.
We're one day going to have the episode about that word hoe. You know something I actually thought about? Right. I had a conversation with somebody before and actually thought about. That word really isn't real. Like, if you really think about it, it's not like a real thing, right? Like, for example, it's like, I remember I had a conversation with somebody with the difference in threesomes, right? Like, why is it it's the topic, off topic a little bit, that's good when I have a conversation. Like, why is it for a man, if he wants 2 women, it seems like that's cool, it's okay, it's popular. But if a woman says, oh, I want to have 2 dudes, it's looked at as like he's a hoe automatically.
The word that I used earlier is probably going to apply to a lot of this when it comes to how men view women. It's ownership.
Yeah. Like to be that's crazy. I'm like, so we can ask for 2 women And it's like, oh yeah, that's okay.
So
but if a woman asks for it, you label her out. Think about we label that a train. Right. Why is that called a train? So if this is a threesome, it's not really different. Like no, really, I had a conversation with somebody and they said that to me. I'm like, damn, I didn't realize that. Damn, that's the same thing. I had a moment. So
I won't pretend to be an expert on this because I get so mixed up on the terms and all this shit. That I'm not even going to try to sit here and say I'm well read on this. But what I will say is that a lot of times when we hear the word monogamy, we think, oh, he got 2 women. And they cooking, cleaning, raising the babies, and every now and then it doesn't living good. He had twice the odds in life to have sex before he goes to sleep. You feel me? He's winning at life. And when we view it that way, that's when it becomes perverted. Like monogamy is not that. I do know that much. Like it's more about nation building and all. If that's what you believe, that's your dig. Yeah. Then it's about nation building and raising. Huh?
You mean polygamy?
Yeah. No, monogamy is great, guys. Polygamy. That's what I mean. So polygamy. Polygamy. Thank you.
The fact that your mind is stuck on monogamy, that's a good side. There you go.
Polygamy, yes. But I know there's other types like monogamy. There's 1,000 different types of monogamies out there. You feel me? And the masses have now wrapped their mind around the concept. So they goes back to tell you that at the end of the day, men are, because we are dumb in society for whatever reason, we hear stuff like that and we only hear what benefits us, and that's what gets told as what that is. You feel me? Like polygamy is just men having sex with women. You feel me? He got 2 of them. That ain't necessarily it. That's not what I
shoot. That might be double trouble for real. You might got double that.
Do not want, my brother. Do not want. But what I'm saying that to say is, as a man, as we're wrapping this up.
What if you got both your wives pregnant at the same time?
Don't want to think about it. But as we're wrapping this up.
That'd be stressful. That'd be stressful.
As we're wrapping this up, I do want to say that women should be held to a higher standard. There should be a level of accountability. There should be things that are across the board that is generally accepted and not accepted as a culture. You feel me? But that ain't my place to tell you how to do it. You feel me? Men, sometimes we gotta sit on the sideline. We gotta shut up. You feel me? And we gotta get out of the way. And when a woman says they don't feel protected, what they are saying is, you might not let X, O, and B put their hands on me. You feel me? But how are you going to protect me from a mental, physical, spiritual, emotional standpoint? It ain't always physical, my brother. And just because you say, well, I won't let a woman in my family be subject to this type of abuse, that may be real. But are you doing it to somebody else's? Like, are you there for her emotionally when she's, because we're emotional beings. Do you hear her spiritually? You feel me? Are you making sure that she feels like whenever there's a time of distress, she can count on you? Because I can personally attest that every time I've needed someone in my life, 95% of the time, the person that shows up is a woman. Are we paying that forward? You feel me? So that's all we mean when we say, are you protecting Black women? But I'll let you end it.
No, you ended on that one. That was perfect. I'm not gonna add nothing else to that. That was perfect. Like you said, protect our Black women. At the end of the day, you are a Black man. You came from a Black woman. Even if you are of multiple whatever you want to call yourself, if you have darker skin, somebody's mama was Black and you came from. Right. Other than that, we'll leave it off on that. That was perfect, bro. See y'all next time.
Because really what you said ultimately was, what does relinquish mean to you? So like, what does that even mean to you in the first place? And what you want to convey in our show?
So like relinquish, when I hear that and I think about what you guys have created and what it is to me. So a lot of times when we hear the term or we feel the analogy of like somebody being shackled or held down to whatever circumstance that is holding them down, we think about the cuffs actually being an exterior force that's wrapped around your wrist. Sometimes you are holding on to those things. And then when you relinquish it, let it go, you're free, right? So,
Yeah.
but that is a process within itself.
You create your own freedom ultimately.
You creating your own freedom. The freedom is there. You feel me? Like there's always going to be outside forces that influence you to behave as if you were trapped. That ain't necessarily it. You feel me? So when I hear relinquish, you letting go things that are holding you down from being free. Like literally Erykah Badu bag lady. Like let the bags go so you can fly. So that's what I hear when I hear relinquish.
That's real, bro. I mean, that's ultimately what relinquish what we try to convey. I mean, ultimately, we're trying to let people know, like, your freedom is really your own. The freedom is there for you to obtain. The freedom is there for you to get it, but you have to let go so you can be free and fly away. I mean, really, just what you said, man.
Absolutely. So even when I think about what it is that we are in the journey of where we're trying to create, and this is a show, and it's so many. Let's not get beside ourselves and say that we're groundbreaking and we're doing something new. It's men talking about issues from a man's perspective. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Yeah. But what I want people to know is that what I hope is different, or what we're even. I hope this isn't different, but I hope what is the message, what you get from us is, while what we're saying isn't fact, and it may not be fact.
No, it's not fact.
Yeah, it can be based on facts, but it ain't fact.
We're not getting the bullshit.
And it isn't the truth. Right? This is our truth. This is what we feel to be true. This is what we think is, what is relevant. This is our moral scope. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you have to trust your own truth. You have to believe, you have to find what it is that you believe. And you have to live by that code. And hopefully that coincides with everybody else. And you just doing your part to make this world a better place.
See, this is why you were one of the first people to take pictures of. You explained it perfectly. But no, I mean, bro. I mean, I definitely do feel you in that. Like, ultimately, what we want people to get from relinquish is really what you think it is. I mean, honestly, ultimately, it's about being free. Right. So, whatever your idea of being free is, that's what it's gonna be.
So you gotta understand, like, relinquish is as far as what you guys built. Like, you have to go straight to the source for that. But use relinquish as a term, as a word, as a lifestyle. That ultimately, I'm telling you to use that to set you free.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. That's all we need.